Hey everybody, I'm Dan Davidson.
And I'm Bill Smith, and it's time for the news from TrekNews.net. Spanning the Alpha Quadrant. For all the news on all the Star Treks, yo. It's TrekNews.net. Online. Oh, sorry. Online at TrekNews.net. Welcome, everybody, to the second freestanding episode of the Trek Geeks News Show, the news from TrekNews.net, where we're going to talk about some stories. And Dan, first off, there's a recent development today on social media. The Star Trek Original Series set tour in Ticonderoga, New York, posted a photo that has made a lot of people really happy and anxious to go see the sets in Ticonderoga.
We love them.
We do.
They are so awesome. Yeah, they posted out something on Twitter and Facebook and all their social media-like pages that in addition to the original series set tour, which is just absolutely phenomenal, and we recommend everybody go and see it, they're expanding, as you like to say in your start of Trek News, the Next Generation set is coming to Ticonderoga. They are busily preparing to expand the sets from the Next Generation. So soon enough, you're going to be able to walk through the Enterprise 1701D in addition to the original Enterprise. That's like 2 generations in one trip to Ticonderoga, and I'm just having a hard time fathoming that.
Maybe they should call it Star Trek Set Tour Generations.
But then that would reference Generations, the movie, which you hate.
Well, the one thing that I'm sure of and certain of is that they're going to put the same exact detail and care and feeding into these next-gen sets as they have with the TOS sets. I mean, you feel like you've beamed literally on board to the Enterprise because there are no open walls.
I have a great idea.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so you get the set, which we now know, the original set tour is right here, and then the next one's going to be in another building. They should have like a rickety bridge that you have to cross over to get to it, and like a mannequin of Kirk could be like underneath it.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
That's just horrible. Why would you do that?
Just thought of it. And it could be like, there could be like heat lamps in that room that you cross over with the bridge. So it's like on Viridian 3, which was really in Vegas, in the mountains in Vegas. That would be amazing. I'm going to pencil that in.
I was going to suggest an Iconian Gateway transitionary room.
That would be cool too.
Which would be kind of neat.
The Guardian?
Yeah, but they probably have to pay Harlan's estate for that.
Oh, that's true. Whatever they do, it's going to be fantastic because the attention to detail that James and his crew puts in the original set and the stuff that they've added. They recently added the mirror Tantalus field in Kirk's quarters, which looks fantastic. I can't wait to see this because I'm sure it's going to be better than anything else out there.
Likewise, and officially licensed, which is the best part.
That's always cool, yeah.
If you've been thinking about taking a trip to Ticonderoga, you're going to want to think about it a little more. That's all we're saying. So, Dan, up next, an incredible honor was recently bestowed on Star Trek, which really highlights the very definition of what Star Trek is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially here in 2020, my friend, with all the craziness that's going on in the world. Yes, the Television Critics Association recently presented the prestigious Heritage Award to our beloved Star Trek franchise in recognition of, quote, the groundbreaking series which brought the future to life, illustrating a unique vision that is equal parts hopeful and cautious as it explored issues such as bigotry, religion, politics, sexism, and human rights through timeless stories of love, war, intrigue, and adventure in outer space. As the jet goes by, we will continue with the help of a strong cast that was among the first to feature an African-American actress in a significant leading role, end quote. All of that was a direct quote, except for the jet that went over, but that's okay.
See, now I can't cut that out because you've made it very hard.
I can do it again. That's fine.
No, just keep going.
Okay.
It is quite an honor, but the best part is that Rod Roddenberry got to accept the award on behalf of Star Trek, which makes it even more special. I mean, obviously Rod has an executive producer credit on all of the new Star Treks that occur now, and to know that he's as vested in the franchise to sort of kind of keep the Gene's vision in Gene's vision really means a lot. And I think it's amazing. It's perfect timing.
And you could tell in the video that they posted over on StarTrek.com how proud he was of it. It's always good to see Rod doing things like that. And I for one love the fact that he's an executive producer on all these new series. I think he does his dad proud.
Oh, absolutely, he does. Yeah. I think his dad would be amazed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Dan, up next, the premiere episode of the official Star Trek podcast, Star Trek The Pod Directive, recently debuted, and they certainly didn't waste any time bringing in a big name. And I might add that the official Star Trek podcast is still not us.
That took me a second. I'm like, where are you going with that? Yeah, there's something about Stiller, isn't there, Bill? Anyway, it was great to...
Is that hair gel?
Yeah. What hair? Anyway, it was great to hear everyone's favorite Mariner, Tawny Newsome, and her co-host, Paul F. Tompkins, on their debut episode of what you said is the new official Star Trek podcast. And in this first episode, they sit down with actor, director, and producer Ben Stiller to talk all things Star Trek memorabilia. And I got to tell you, man, I was never aware of how much of a Trek fan Ben is, and they go deep into Stiller's Trek collection, his childhood memories of the show, and the way his fandom pops up in many of his projects, even to this day. For example, he had great memories of putting the Gorn head from Arena and Leonard Nimoy's Season 2 Spock ears in Matthew McConaughey's office in Tropic Thunder. That is some cool stuff.
I mean, you have to expect that for a guy whose production company is called Red Hour Productions, and it is named after Return of the Archons.
Yep.
That he would have to be a deep Trekkie. And, it makes me happy. I'm glad that they're getting some interesting people to talk to on that podcast. I haven't listened to it yet because in quarantine, I haven't listened to a whole lot of podcasts because I'm not commuting these days.
True.
But I'll have to go out of my way to listen to that because I'm curious as to what the podcast is like, honestly. I think that as long as they keep it about Star Trek and fandom, which I think is the key, I think that they'll have a long, successful run.
I think so too. And this story can kind of tie into our first story that we did. They need to get Ben Stiller up to Ticonderoga to that set tour. The stories they could tell.
Well, I mean, Tawny Newsome asked him, what would you do with your night at the museum if you were staying on board the Enterprise? I saw the clip of this online, and he's like, I'd go up to the bridge of the Enterprise. I'm like, dude, you can go to the bridge of the Enterprise. And I am pretty sure that they will let you spend the night because you're Ben Stiller.
Absolutely. That would be awesome. Let's do it. And we'll go cover it for Trek Geeks, for the news. Da-da-da-da-da.
You just can't wear your onesie this time.
You mean I won't wear anything? That's kind of awful.
That's not at all what that means. Dan, okay. Next up, we want to talk about some changes because change is inevitable. And they're going to come next year for CBS All Access, and we're not surprised about it at all.
With the recent merger of Paramount and CBS, we really knew something would be happening. And in 2021, CBS All Access will be getting a rebranding. After months of rumors and hints, CBS All Access is officially taking the name Paramount Plus as part of a huge expansion plan kicking off in 2021. Now, one of the biggest parts of this announcement is that in addition to the name change, Paramount Plus will finally be available across the globe with an initial debut in Australia, Latin America, and the Nordics in 2021. And with this merger, the new service will have over 30,000 TV episodes and movies across the huge Paramount and CBS spectrum. Now, of course, this doesn't change a thing regarding Discovery, Lower Deck, Strange New Worlds, Section 31, and on and on. All of these Star Trek shows will still be on this streaming service. Paramount Plus. It's a household name. Little Forrest Gump there.
That's a terrible name.
Somebody pointed out, I'm not sure who it was. I think it was our friend Alex Perry. They had a huge marketing department and they came up with Paramount Plus.
Yeah. I mean, there's Apple TV Plus, there's Disney Plus. Yeah. Enough with the pluses already. Yeah. Just call it Paramount. Because, I mean, I think the name speaks for itself, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. Or call it Paramount TV or, I don't know, UPN. Call it the Star Trek app. I don't care.
Anything but. And I read the official release and I kind of snickered, but it's like, wow, this is a huge pun that the Paramount Plus streaming service is going to have a mountain of entertainment.
Yeah, that was. Did they have you write that? Because that's as bad as one of your Farkisms on Trek Geeks. So
What do we
yes.
have next in news, Bill?
Well, no, there's only the other thing we want to bring up regarding this doesn't necessarily change any of the international distribution for Star Trek that is currently in in production now.
Correct.
So whether it's Discovery or Lower Decks or Strange New Worlds or Picard, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's automatically going to show up on this platform in any other place other than the ones that we mentioned. If you're in the UK, for example, you're probably still dealing with Netflix and Amazon for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, because they have contracts, yo.
Well, that's it. And until those contracts are up, I don't think you'll see that content move back to Paramount All Access, which would have been a better name.
And, I got to say, I've gotten used to CBS All Access, and I'm kind of digging it. And so now it's going to change, and we'll have to get used to this.
It's an app. I mean, I don't think it matters.
Lots of stuff to watch, though.
There's already a lot of stuff to watch.
I know, but there'll be more.
That's the thing.
There'll be more, Bill.
Well, speaking of more, Dan. Last up, the Amazon Music platform, which has been designed to compete with things like Apple Music and Spotify, now has, as of today, September 16th, 2020, podcasts. And wouldn't you know that the Trek Geeks Podcast Network is front and center.
What a birthday present. That's awesome. So now I can go mow the lawn today when I have to do my chores still, and I can put my aftershocks on and pull up a Trek Geeks Podcast Network show because they're all there, people. Trek Geeks, Discovering Trek, Politrex, 5-Year Mission. What a great name. Picard Live, Rewind, Infinite Trek, and Deep Space Pride. They're all right there on Amazon Music. I pulled up the page and man, it looks professional and everything. It's wonderful. Nicely done.
I didn't do any of that. They did it all.
I know, but I'm saying that I wouldn't say nicely done to you. You don't do anything good. I'm saying nicely done, Amazon. They're fantastic. I love them. It looks great.
Yeah.
Alexa, play the Trek Geeks Podcast Network, and it's like it happens.
Well, it's great. As more and more platforms adopt podcasts, as this medium becomes more accepted, I mean, you're going to see shows, not just ours, but all kinds of great podcasts, Star Trek or not, introduced on these platforms so that people can kind of have one-stop shopping, which is fantastic. In addition to original podcasts, which Amazon will do, you can find the likes of us. So hopefully we don't muddy the waters a little too much.
That's a lot of mud.
That's a lot of mud.
That's a lot of mud, but it's exciting. Amazon is taking over the world, and it is Skynet. We all know that. It's all going to happen. So why not be part of it, right?
See, I think Google is Skynet.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I think Google, Amazon, and Apple are all going to merge into one giant dominion and kill us all. Just kidding. Wow. Where did that go?
That's a cheery newscast this week. Well, that's the news for the week of September 16th, 2020. Until next time, we hope you guys all live long and prosper.
Coconut.
Really? That's it?
That's all I got. It's my birthday. I can do what I want.
Music for Trek Geeks is provided by 5-Year Mission. They're writing an original song for each episode of Star Trek. Hear more of their music at 5yearmission.net. Trek Geeks is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.